All right. Hey, welcome to another episode. This is, I think, our third episode together. I have a total of 4, but episode number 4, Mayberry Memories. I asked you, my brother Steve, I'm Dave, to pick us an episode for us.
Yeah, so I randomly picked one that I hadn't watched for a while, but I picked A Feud as a Feud.
Episode 9.
Yeah, and I went back and rewatched
Season
that.
1. Yeah.
It was a fun episode. Not as my favorite by any means.
Yeah.
But it was a fun episode because it gets into kind of the politics of family feuds in the South. And
Yeah. So here, I think for me, the thing that was absent and missing in this episode that really kind of hurt it a little bit was the absence of one of my favorite actors of all time. Don Knotts, where are you in this episode?
Yeah, he's not to be found.
No way. I think they mentioned the deputy once, but this is not an episode where Don's in it all. And
let's face it, most episodes are better with Don Knotts.
Everybody,
in fact, the whole show kind of went downhill without Don Knotts.
Everybody needs a little Don in their life.
You do. That's true.
Yep.
So, yeah, no Don Knotts. But still an entertaining episode. The comedy between the two different families.
Yeah.
Kind of a takeoff of the old Hatfields and McCoys, but this time it's the
Wakefields.
Wakefields and the Carters.
Correct. And really, come on, this is all a play on
Romeo and Juliet.
And as a matter of fact, as the episode begins, we get a rather long scene, I think, at breakfast.
Yeah, where Andy kind of tells the story of Romeo and Juliet to Opie.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. That was long. I mean,
it was long.
I think you and I were both talking about the fact that it was part of a sketch or something that he did.
Yeah, I think it was on one of his comedy albums that he had done. A lot of comedians used to put out albums. I don't think they do that so much anymore. But
No.
Andy Griffith had done that, and that skit or telling of Romeo and Juliet had been on that album. And there's some talk that maybe this whole episode was kind of designed to just give him a chance to showcase that.
Yeah, this truly was a Andy Griffith episode.
Right.
As the show developed and matured, clearly it was this cast of characters that revolved around kind of Andy being that stabilizing force.
Right.
And this episode, he was a little goofier.
Yeah.
And that cast of characters really wasn't there besides Aunt and Opie.
Right. And even the hillbilly characters in this one aren't the same ones that show up in future seasons as much. And rather kind of a interesting bit of trivia that I found out while looking at information about the show was that the gal that played the daughter that wanted to get married,
Hannah.
Yes, Hannah. I can't remember her name. Karen something or the other.
Karen Kupsenet, I think. Although she went by a different name.
She did.
At the time of the filming.
She didn't have a long life. She only lived to be about 22. She died a couple of years after filming this in an unsolved murder.
She was strangled in her apartment. Unsolved. Her father, Herb Kupsenet, is a Chicago journalist. He was a famous columnist. And there was some question as to what was the motive behind this. She was dating, I don't think she was dating. She was friends of a famous actor. And she'd had dinner with the actor. He was the guy that played Don West in Lost in Space. Yeah. But had dinner, went home, and I guess the next day was found. And to this day, no one knows
Unsolved.
Why, what the motive was. Although the father, I think, the columnist said he had his suspicions, but suspicions are exactly that.
It's too bad.
Yeah, truly sad that's the case, and a little bit of a sad asterisk to put on the whole thing. But she did a great job in the show.
She did, and it was a funny episode. I think of some of my favorite moments from that are when Andy makes the two fathers do the...
That's the best scene in the whole...
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they may have built the episode around the Romeo and Juliet retelling, kind of a Southerner's version of that. But the scene that was the funniest is the
duel.
Andy makes the fathers have a duel.
Yeah.
Empties their shotguns.
Oh, yeah.
And knows that no one's really going to get hurt, but forces them to do the pacing. And those two actors, they are character actors, veteran character actors. They just do a really great job. It's
they
fun.
definitely do. It was fun. But like you said, Barney Fife could have only made this show better.
Only could have made it better. But it's not one of my favorites, but it's definitely good enough that as I was watching it, and my sweet wife was there on her phone next to me as I was rewatching this, and she looked over at me. She's like, because I'm laughing at that duel scene. She's like, "You're so weird." And it's true.
You know, it's timeless, though. The classic.
It is. It's timeless humor that, frankly, they just don't have this. It's gentle humor in a way. Although, you know, this was like Andy fires off the gun to scare the two guys to think that one of them shot the other, right? And they run away in the duel scene. And it may have been, I think they pointed out in one of the articles I read, the only time that Andy actually fires a gun in the entire series.
Right, he doesn't fire guns very often, that's for sure.
Yeah. Now, of course, Don Knotts will fire it off at usually his feet, right?
His foot or in the air or at somebody.
When he's spinning it.
Yeah. He's only allowed to keep one bullet.
So what did you think of the episodes we've reviewed so far?
It's probably my least favorite.
Yeah.
But it was still a great episode. Any early episode of Andy Griffith Show is better than most TV shows that are on today.
Agreed. And I would say that it was an episode where the show was still trying to get its footing, trying to figure out, you know, early episodes of a lot of shows, whether it's Seinfeld, Friends, all these classic comedies.
Right, they're trying to figure out, flush out the characters.
Yeah, trying to figure out really the feel and tone of the show, right? And this one had a little, like I said, Andy was a little goofier in this one. We didn't have that warm, loving cast of characters, and it was missing Don Knotts. And yes, I know I'm obsessed with that, but Don Knotts is the reason why the Andy Griffith Show is so great. Opie's pretty cool, too.
Yeah, and, you know, Andy Griffith was talented.
He was talented. He was great, but let's be clear. And one of these days, we're going to have to review the new Andy Griffith Show, which came out in 1971. They ended the Andy Griffith Show. They did Mayberry RFD, which he guest starred in occasionally. But then he did a comeback, and he did the new Andy Griffith Show, which, by the way, if you go watch it, it's episode 1's out there, season 1, episode 1. It only ran for 12 episodes. It is just odd. Strange.
I haven't seen them. I'll have to go back and find
You should go check it out. You know that episode, I bring up Seinfeld again, that one where they have the Bizarro Seinfeld characters?
Yes.
It's Bizarro that way.
It's
just like he's trying to recreate the old Andy Griffith Show, and it just doesn't work.
Doesn't work? Huh. No, I'll have to go check it out.
Yeah. One of these days we'll review that episode, although I've obviously kind of spoiled it already.
Yeah.
Not great.
All right. Anything else? Any other last comments?
Think.
I'm excited. I've told you before. I'm excited for the episode of this that we do, Mayberry Memories, where we'll talk about the Christmas episode. Probably my favorite episode of season 1.
The question is do we do it now? Because
we have to wait. We have to wait.
Or do we wait for the holidays?
We'll put that one on the shelf for later.
We have to. I think probably sometime between Thanksgiving and December, somewhere around there.
I did watch it the same time I watched A Feud as a Feud.
Yeah.
Just because I love it so much. It's great. Yeah, it's great. We'll talk about it later.
Okay, let's talk about that one later. I'll pick the next one, and I guarantee you this. Don Knotts will be in it.
All right, sounds good.
All right, hey, thanks everybody for watching. Really appreciate your viewership. If you like this episode, if you like us reviewing the Andy Griffith Show, give us a thumbs up. Think about subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so.
You should subscribe.
Yeah, and what's most important?
Thank you.
Yeah, just thanks for watching.